Good afternoon. Welcome to the tea table. I am so happy you've joined me today. We are going to imagine ourselves in the Mediterranean, in the Greek islands, and I'm wearing my shawl that my granddaughter brought me last year, and it's from Greece. I'll stand up for 1 minute and show you. It has the Acropolis on it and both sides, and the famous Greek design around the corner, which goes back thousands of years to even the time of Aristotle and Plato. This design was found among their things. So, well, I'm getting myself together here. There's a little bumblebee coming at me. If you haven't gotten your tea yet, please pause and get your tea, and I will be waiting for you. Okay, I tried to imagine, could we have something with beautiful vintage color, a touch of Italian, and I found this in my china closet, this beautiful yellow and brownish, greenish set. And then I brought my favorite little vase from Trieste, Italy, from my daughter, with my very last candy cane rose, which I think it's nice to put on the tea table. Now, the way I arranged it, I have a sugar bowl, and the creamer, it doesn't exactly match, but it's very close. It has the green and the gold and the yellow, and I think it's very nice. Well, let's pour out. Now, I want to show you something I've discovered with these teapots. This is the front of the teapot because it has the most beautiful flower. Now, the back side only has one flower, you'll see. And so I'm right-handed. Most people are. So to pour out, I'm using the back side. But I will go ahead and do that. It's nice, wonderful Mediterranean day, and we have a breeze in the air, which often the Mediterranean grants a relief from the heat through the wonderful breezes of the Italian coast, and then down at the very base and around the corner, around the boot to Greece. Oh my goodness, that is so good. Well, I've had this hat. It has a black stripe with a charcoal gray and a white, and I thought it kind of picks up the black in my shawl from Greece. What is it that we love about Greece? The beauty. What is it that we love about Italy? Oh my, hello Mr. Sun, I love you. The beauty, the beauty. God created man in his image, and we are hardwired for beauty. I believe it was Dostoevsky who wrote, "Beauty will save the world." And he understood that. He was in a prison cell up in Siberia when perhaps he wrote that. Beauty is so important in life. Beauty is a type of God. This is going to be a short tea talk today, and if it clips off, please forgive me, but I'm having issues with my phone. Well, we were talking about beauty, and I brought you something beautiful that I made. It's the apricot cake, and I kept it in my freezer that I appreciate all of you dear tea people, and I have a special purse. My father gave this to my mother in Chicago, and when they met in 1944 It's called an envelope purse. It's got a little wear, and it's straw. Needs a tiny repair here. But I thought, doesn't this go absolutely perfect with my Grecian outfit? I just love the white, and when the men wear the white suits and the Panama hats. And I think it's filmed beautifully by BBC when they did the Poirot, Agatha Christie's Poirot with David Suchet. And they often go to Cairo or Greece or the Middle East. When you're in England, you're close to those things. It's just a boat ride across to France and then down. It would be like us going to California, living in Washington State. And that's why the Europeans have that blessing of knowing so many languages, because they're bordering France, Germany, Belgium, Holland, England, Norway, Sweden, Denmark. It goes on, and they all have retained their own language, which is phenomenal and a beautiful thing. So I want to tell you all, this is going to be a short talk. If it clicks off, it's because I am going to have to replace my phone today. But I wanted to finish this up and tell you, I believe beauty, as we spoke about last time, the good, the true, and the beautiful is where God wants us to live, in our hearts, in our lives, with our relationships, and with the way we decorate our homes, the way we wear our clothing, our nonverbal communication, which is what we wear. I hope you are all having a beautiful week. It's August. Enjoy the beauty of summer and give someone else a good word today. The thing that I love is studying the cathedrals of Europe. That was in the end of the Middle Ages. And these people would dedicate sometimes 3 generations it took to build the cathedrals, not to mention the architecture, the stained glass, all of the beauty and the design, but the actual men that worked on the cathedral. And they were doing it for the glory of God, because they understood beauty is from God, and to worship God in a place of beauty is to have a taste of heaven. It was the same with all of the music, the Gregorian chants, which came through that period. It's a purity of voice. There's no instrumentation. It's a cappella harmonies, singing the scriptures, singing holy thoughts toward God in the setting of a cathedral. And it was very equalizing. It was for the poor, it was for the rich, it was for the high, and it was for the low. Everyone could come to church, and if they were Christian, receive communion, receive forgiveness of their sins, hear a message of hope for their week, go forth. This is what I love about history, the beauty that God has given us. Modern man, as he leaves God and leaves the Bible, beauty disappears. You can see it in the modern architecture around us. We're craving that carved wood, that doorway, that special brick, things that are made by hand and not just machines. Well, I think we're having a revival toward that. I think people are moving back in their hearts. The culture needs to move back to centering itself around God, His truth, His redemption. That's what the entire Bible is about. Redemption, redeem, restore, reform. From the beginning of time, when Adam and Eve sinned and took that bite of the apple, God didn't forsake them. He was a holy God, and he had to pay a price for the sin. So he said, I'll send my son and pay the price. And that's what biblical Christianity is. 4,000 years later, Jesus came. It's historically documented. And it's a gift. It's grace.